Have you ever stood on the precipice of a great change, looked out toward the horizon of the future you desire, and taken that first brave step forward, only to have the ground beneath you immediately crumble? It is a paradox that has haunted seekers, philosophers, and psychologists for centuries. You set a clear intention. You visualize a new career, a deeper love, or a profound sense of inner peace. You commit to this new vision. And yet, instead of the path clearing, a sudden fog descends, the car breaks down, the relationship becomes volatile. The anxiety you thought you had conquered returns with a vengeance, screaming louder than ever before. It feels like a cosmic joke. It feels like rejection. But I want you to pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. What if I told you that this chaos is not a sign to stop? What if this sudden resistance is actually the sound of the lock turning on the door you have been knocking on? Welcome. Today, we are going to dissect one of the most misunderstood phenomena in the landscape of spirituality and deep psychology, the testing phase. We are going to explore why the universe, or, if you prefer, the mechanics of your own unconscious, must test your structural integrity before it allows you to build a new floor on the skyscraper of your life. Let us begin with a fundamental truth that Carl Jung and many wisdom traditions have pointed toward. Nature does not make jumps, it evolves, but evolution is violent. A seed does not simply become a tree, it must first completely undo itself. It must crack open its own shell, its protective identity, and push through the heavy, suffocating weight of the dark soil before it ever sees the light. If the seed could speak, in those moments of cracking and pushing through the dirt, it would tell you it is dying. It would tell you it is being buried, but in reality it is being planted. This is exactly where many of you are right now. You have asked for a new reality. You have signaled to the field of energy that you are ready for the new you. But there is a lag time. There is a gap between the intention and the realization. And in that gap, you encounter the test of opposites. Why, when you ask for patience, are you immediately surrounded by frustrating situations? Think of it this way. Imagine you have lived your entire life in a small, cluttered room. This room represents your old self. It is filled with old furniture, your past traumas, your limiting beliefs, your safe but small habits. Now, you decide you want to renovate. You want a spacious, light-filled sanctuary. You call in the architects of change. What is the first thing a builder does before creating a majestic new space? They do not bring in the new furniture yet. No, first, they must bring in the sledgehammers. They must tear down the old walls. They must rip up the rotting floorboards. Dust flies everywhere. It is noisy, it is messy, it looks like destruction. If a stranger walked in during the demolition phase, they would think you were ruining the house, but you know better. You know that destruction is the prerequisite for construction. This brings us to the psychological concept of homeostasis. Your psyche, your biological system, and your ego are designed to keep you safe. And to the primitive mind, safety means sameness. The moment you try to change your frequency or your identity, your internal alarm system goes off. The universe acts as a mirror to this internal conflict. The external reality presents you with a challenge, not to stop you, but to ask you a question. That question is, are you serious? Are you just wishing for a new life, or are you becoming the person capable of holding it? Let's look at the metaphor of the archer. To shoot an arrow forward with great power, you cannot just throw it, you must pull it back. You must create tension. The further back the arrow is pulled, the more resistance is felt in the string. The bow creaks, the arm shakes. It feels like a retreat. It feels like you are moving backward, away from your target. But that backward motion, that tension, is potential energy being accumulated. The challenges you are facing right now are the tension in the bowstring. The universe is pulling you back to generate the power necessary to launch you into your new timeline. We must also address the entity that is most afraid of this change, the guardian of the threshold. In mythology, whenever the hero leaves the known world to enter the special world of adventure, he encounters a guardian. This guardian looks terrifying. It blocks the path. In your life, this guardian is your shadow. It is the collection of your past adaptations. It is the voice that says, who do you think you are? Stay here where it is safe. Stay here where we are a victim. We know how to be a victim. We don't know how to be a victor. When you declare I am abundant, the guardian steps forward and shows you your debt, not to mock you, but to test your resolve. If you look at the debt and say, see, I knew it wouldn't work, the guardian nods and lets you back into the small room. The test has failed. You return to the status quo. But if you can look at that contradiction, if you can stare the guardian in the eye and say, I see the current reality, but I also know my new truth is coming, then the guardian steps aside. In fact, the guardian transforms. The energy that was used to block you becomes the wind at your back. This is the crucial distinction we must make today. The difference between a stop sign and a construction sign. Most people mistake the roadwork of their destiny for a dead end. Consider the butterfly inside the chrysalis. The caterpillar does not just grow wings. It completely dissolves into a genetic soup. It loses its structure entirely before reassembling into a higher form. If you were to cut open the chrysalis halfway through the process, it would look like a disaster. It would look like death. You might be in the soup phase right now. You have let go of the old, but the new has not yet formed. You are in the void. This is the most dangerous and the most sacred time. It is dangerous because it is easy to panic and try to reassemble the old caterpillar. It is sacred because it is the only space where true transformation can occur. The test is simple. Can you hold the vision of the butterfly when you are surrounded by the darkness of the cocoon? In the next section of this video, we are going to go deeper into the specific types of tests you will encounter. We will talk about why the people around you might suddenly start acting differently, why your emotions might feel like a roller coaster, and how to use the law of assumption to navigate this storm without capsizing your boat. We will explore how to trick the brain into accepting this discomfort as excitement, and how to recognize the subtle signals, the synchronicities that tell you the test is almost over. But before we continue, I want you to acknowledge where you are. If you are feeling the tension of the bowstring or the dust of the renovation, do not despair. You are right on schedule. Now that we understand that the destruction you are witnessing is actually a form of construction, we must go deeper. We must understand the mechanics of this transition so you do not lose your way in the dark. The most difficult part of this process is what I call the echo chamber of reality. You see, we live in a physical dimension that is dense. Matter is heavy. Energy is light and fast, but matter is slow and sluggish. When you change your mind, when you shift your internal energy or your spiritual posture, the change happens instantly on the psychic plane. Inside you are already different, but the outside world, your job, your bank account, your relationships needs time to catch up. Think of it like looking at the stars. The light you see from a distant star tonight actually left that star thousands of years ago. You are looking at the past. Similarly, your current reality, the room you are sitting in, the problems you are facing is just a starlight of your past thoughts, your past vibrations, and your past identity. It is old news. The test comes when you declare a new truth. For example, I am surrounded by love and respect, but your physical eyes still see the old starlight of loneliness or conflict. The universe is watching you at this precise moment. It is waiting to see which reality you believe in, the one you see with your physical eyes, the past, or the one you see with your inner eye, the future. If you react to the old reality with your old emotions, you reactivate it. You feed the dead star, and it keeps burning. The test is to walk through the wreckage of the old life without judging it, knowing that it is just the echo of a song you have stopped singing. This brings us to a painful but necessary part of the process, the shedding of relationships. This is often the test that breaks people's resolve. As you begin to do this inner work, what Jung might call individuation or integrating the shadow, your frequency changes. You are tuning your radio to a new station. Suddenly, the people who have been in your life for years may start to drift away. Conflicts arise out of nowhere. You might feel misunderstood or isolated. This is not a punishment, this is physics. If you are vibrating at the frequency of growth and empowerment, and your circle is vibrating at the frequency of complaint and stagnation, the resonance is broken. The universe is removing the energy that anchors you to your old identity. Imagine you are a hot air balloon trying to rise. The ropes holding you down are the expectations and perceptions of others who only know the old you. For the balloon to rise, the ropes must be cut. Sometimes, the universe cuts them for you. It hurts, it feels like abandonment. But if you look closely, it is liberation. The empty space that is left behind is not a void of loneliness. It is a vacuum that must be filled by new people who align with your new destiny. But the universe doesn't just test you with loss, it tests you with the trigger. Have you ever noticed that just when you decide to be calm, the most annoying person you know calls you, or just when you decide to save money, an appliance breaks? This is the universe asking, have you really changed? Or are you just pretending? It is easy to be peaceful in a monastery. It is easy to feel abundant when the check arrives. But can you maintain that state when the opposite happens? The old you would react with anger, panic, or victimhood. The new you has a different script. Think of this like a video game. You cannot advance to level 2 until you defeat the boss of level 1. The boss is usually a recurring situation or emotional pattern that has trapped you for years. When this situation arises again, it is not a sign that you have failed. It is the final exam. If you react the same way you always have, you failed the exam. You restart the level. You will face the same boss again in a few months. This is why so many people find themselves in loops, dating the same type of person with a different face, or facing the same financial crisis every 2 years. They are failing the boss fight. To pass the test, you must do something radically different. You must respond, not react. When the chaos hits, instead of collapsing into fear, the new you stands firm and says, I recognize this pattern. This is the old me trying to survive. But I don't live there anymore. This requires a tremendous amount of psychological energy. It requires you to override your biological instinct for survival, which is screaming that something is wrong. You must act as if the reality you desire is already the truth, even while the world burns down around you. This is the essence of the phrase, fake it until you make it, but I prefer embody it until you become it. You are not faking a lie, you are rehearsing a future truth. Let's consider the metaphor of the thermostat. Your life has a set point, a temperature that you are used to. Let's say your set point for happiness is 70 degrees. If something wonderful happens and your happiness spikes to 90 degrees, your unconscious mind says, warning, This is too hot. This is unfamiliar. It will self-sabotage through a bad mood, a fight, or a mistake to bring you back down to 70 degrees. Conversely, when you try to raise your setting permanently, the internal system kicks in to cool you down. The doubts, the lethargy, the imposter syndrome, these are just the air conditioning of the ego trying to keep the temperature safe. When you feel this resistance, when you feel that heaviness in your chest that says, I can't do this, recognize it for what it is. It is the thermostat kicking in. It is proof that you are heating up. It is proof that you are expanding. Do not retreat to the comfortable temperature. Stay in the heat. The discomfort you feel is the sensation of your container expanding. We also need to talk about the period of stillness. Sometimes the test is not chaos, it is silence. You do the work, you make the changes, and then nothing happens. Absolutely nothing. The phone doesn't ring, the opportunities dry up. You feel like you are walking through a desert. This is perhaps the hardest test of all, the test of faith. In alchemy, there is a stage called the negredo, the blackening. It is the decomposition. Before the gold can be made, the matter must sit in the darkness and rot. In this silence, you are being asked to trust without evidence. You are being asked to believe in the seed when you cannot see the sprout. Most people give up here. They say it's not working. I'm being foolish. They dig up the seed to see if it's growing, and in doing so they kill it. The silence is not empty, it is pregnant. It is the deep breath the universe takes before it speaks your name. In this stillness, your roots are going down deep. If you were given the success you want right now, without this rooting process, you would topple over. The depth of your waiting determines the height of your rising. So, if you are in the chaos, or if you are in the silence, observe your reactions. Are you acting from the memory of your past or the vision of your future? Are you negotiating with your old demons, or are you stepping past them? The bridge between your current reality and your desired reality is built with the bricks of your reactions. Every time you choose faith over fear, you lay another brick. Every time you choose gratitude over complaint, you solidify the structure. We are approaching the final stage of our journey today. In the next and final segment, I am going to give you a concrete toolkit. We will discuss the 2 Seer Superior, your higher self, methodology, how to practically connect with that version of you that has already passed these tests. I will share 3 specific daily habits that act as anchors during the storm, ensuring that when the wave of change hits, you ride it rather than drown in it. We will talk about the power of micro-celebrations and how to hack your dopamine system to keep you moving forward when the external world offers no reward. Hold fast, the storm is loud, but your inner compass is louder. We have arrived at the final stage of our journey. We have explored the psychology of the test, and we have navigated the treacherous waters of the echo chamber. Now, we must arm you with the practical weapons you need to win this battle. Because understanding the concept is one thing, but living it when your world feels like it is collapsing is another entirely. The final realization you must come to is this: the universe is not testing your strength, it is testing your identity. It is not asking, are you strong enough to fight this? It is asking, who are you while this is happening? Most people approach manifestation and change from the outside in. They think, when I get the money, I will feel secure. When I meet the partner, I will feel worthy. But as we have discussed, the universe works from the inside out. You must be secure to hold the money. You must be worthy to sustain the relationship. So, how do we bridge this gap practically? How do we act like a king when we feel like a beggar? Here is your roadmap for the testing phase. Step 1. Radical gratitude for the resistance. This sounds counterintuitive, perhaps even masochistic. But you must flip the script on obstacles. When a challenge arises, a sudden bill, a rejection, a moment of intense fear, your old programming screams danger. I want you to pause, take a breath, and mentally say, thank you for revealing this hidden resistance. Thank you for this opportunity to prove to myself who I am. By thanking the obstacle, you instantly neutralize its power over you. You shift from being a victim who things happen to a creator who uses things for growth. You are telling your unconscious mind that you are bigger than the problem. This is a subtle but powerful signal to the universe that you are ready for the next level. You are treating the monster like a training partner. Step 2. The Future Self-Decision Framework. This is the core of the transformation. Every single day you are faced with dozens of micro-decisions: what to eat, what to say, how to react to a rude email, whether to scroll on your phone or read a book. Usually, we make these decisions on autopilot, based on our past habits. This ensures we stay in the past. To pass the test, you must start making decisions from the perspective of your future self, the version of you that has already passed the test. Ask yourself constantly, what would my higher self do in this situation? Would the version of you that is already abundant panic over this bill? No. They would handle it with calm responsibility and trust that more flows in. Would the version of you that is in a loving relationship text back out of desperation? No. They would rest in their own worth. This concept of aligning with your highest potential is not just a mental trick. It is a profound restructuring of the psyche. It is so fundamental that I dedicated an entire book to it, titled To Seer Superior, Your Higher Self. In the book, I break down exactly how to dismantle the layers of the false ego and access that voice of wisdom and power that resides within you. The book is designed to be a companion for this exact phase when the darkness presses in and you need a flashlight to find your true identity. The work I outline in To Seer Superior is about closing the gap between who you are pretending to be and who you truly are. When you act from that higher self, you are voting for your new reality, and eventually, with enough votes, the election is won. The old reality concedes. Step 3. Celebrate the invisible wins. We are addicted to external validation. We want the applause, the numbers, the tangible results. But as we know, the external world lags behind. If you wait for the outside world to validate you, you will quit before the miracle happens. You must learn to celebrate the internal victories. This is crucial for keeping your dopamine levels high and your motivation steady. Did you feel anxiety coming on but chose to breathe through it instead of spiraling? Celebrate that. That is a victory. Did you want to complain to a friend but chose to speak about your vision instead? Celebrate that. Did you lose something but maintained your faith that something better is coming? That is a massive win. These are the micro celebrations. You must become your own cheerleader. When you acknowledge these internal shifts, you are reinforcing the new neural pathways in your brain. You are teaching your body that this new behavior is safe and rewarding. You are effectively rewiring your own operating system. Step 4. The law of no attachment. This is the final paradox. You must want the new reality with all your heart, but you must be okay if it doesn't arrive today. Desperation is a repellent. Desperation screams lack. If you are constantly checking for results, is it here yet? Is it here yet? You are vibrating at the frequency of absence. The test is often a test of patience. Can you plant the seed and trust the soil? Can you walk away and let the universe do its part? There is a story of the Chinese bamboo tree. For 5 years, you water it and fertilize it, and you see nothing. Absolutely nothing breaks the surface of the soil. An impatient gardener would dig it up or stop watering it. But in the 5th year, within a period of 6 weeks, the bamboo shoots up to 90 feet tall. Was it growing for 6 weeks? No. It was growing for 5 years. It was growing roots. It was building the foundation to sustain that massive height. You are in the root building phase. The universe is holding back the visible growth because if you shot up 90 feet today, with your current root system, your current emotional maturity and beliefs, you would collapse under your own weight. The delay is protection. The delay is preparation. Conclusion. The alchemist of your life. As we close this video, I want you to look at your current struggles with new eyes. The financial pressure, the loneliness, the confusion, the fatigue. These are not signs that you are broken. These are the raw materials of your alchemy. You are the alchemist. Your consciousness is the fire. You are taking the lead of your heavy, limited past, and through the heat of these tests, you are transmuting it into the gold of a realized, empowered future. Do not fear the test. The test is the only way through. Remember, the old you cannot go where the new you is going. The heavy bags must be dropped at the airport terminal. It feels like a loss, but you cannot fly with that weight. So, the next time the universe throws a roadblock in your path, smile. Smile because you know the secret. You know that the universe only tests the ones it is about to promote. You are being initiated. Stand tall, breathe deep, connect with that higher self we talked about. The reality you have been dreaming of is not just a fantasy. It is a memory of the future waiting for you to catch up to it. If this message resonated with you, if you felt a shift in your perspective today, confirm it to yourself and to the community. Write in the comments below. I am ready for the upgrade. Declare it. Let the algorithm of the universe know you are listening. And if you are ready to do the deep work, to stop circling the mountain and finally climb it, check out my book To Seer Superior. It is the manual I wish I had when I was going through my own dark night of the soul. The link is in the description. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with someone who is going through a tough time. Be the light for them. Until next time, keep walking. The view from the top is worth the climb.